Hello girls, hello my posse. Thank you so much for coming to my living room today. Today it's just going to be a really quick update on my husband Denny. I don't have any tea. I have to get to the hospital right away. I'm just recording this because I want you to know what's going on. So I want to thank you all so much for coming over today. I so appreciate you. I can use the company today and hopefully I can get through this video. So I know how much you all love my Denny, and I love him with all my heart, and this has been a really tough week. I had to call 911 the other day, and they had to take him to the hospital. He's just not doing good at all. I'm not really sure. I don't have a diagnosis yet, except that his lungs are going. He had a hard time breathing. He was lethargic. I couldn't get him to move the other day. He was just sitting in the chair staring. So I had to call 911 and they rushed him out of here really quick. He's dealing now with his sugar issues. He got to the hospital and his sugar was 320. So he went into, I was there talking to him, and all of a sudden he put his head back, went back, and his mouth was open. And he went into a sugar coma on me, and I panicked. I called the nurse right away. We were still in ER, waiting for a bed for upstairs, and we couldn't get him to respond, and they did his sugar, and it was 585. So I don't know if some of you know about sugar diabetes, that is definitely too high. 585 is very high. So they called the response team in from upstairs or wherever they come from, and the response team came down and tried to respond to him. They got him to respond. They gave him insulin. They gave him more insulin, and it wasn't going down, and they were going to call the ICU unit in, and then it started to go down. So it was down to like 320. So he stabled out. So I don't know what the deal is with his sugar, if he's got a sugar problem now. With his diabetes. He is diabetic. He does take a couple of medications for it, but he's never been on insulin. They give him insulin in the hospital because in the hospital they don't give him his metformin or his Jardiance that he takes at home. Now, whether that's why his sugar went up, I don't know, but I know he's on insulin at the hospital. And he's having a hard time breathing, and he's very weak, and I don't know. He says he's worse now than he ever was when he went into the hospital before. So I don't know, girls. I just need you to pray for him. We just can't figure it out. Hold on. But we just can't seem to figure out what's wrong. I can't get a diagnosis. I know he's in congestive heart failure. He's got COPD, and he's got pulmonary hypertension, which is like a high blood pressure of the lungs. He's been deteriorating really since COVID. You know that in 2020 he almost died. When everybody was dying in 2020, I don't know. God saved him because he was near death in 2020, and he was on a ventilator for 9 days, and then 9 days in ICU before he actually came home. And he was one of the lucky ones that came home. Not too many came home back in 2020 when they went in for COVID, as bad as Dennys was. So ever since then, he's been on oxygen, and he's been, his lungs have been deteriorating and bad, and I don't know. I just want him to feel good and come home, and I'm not sure he's going to come home from the hospital because I think he's going back into rehab because he can't function in there. He's weak. They don't get you up in the hospital. You just lay in bed in the hospital. That's all you do, and they don't really get you up that much. Physical therapy, occupational therapy came in. They walked him like from the doorway to his room back to the chair. That's not much exercise. So you lay in the hospital bed and you deteriorate. You just don't get any exercise. So I think because of that and his weakness, he's going back over to rehab, which he was just in August. He was in the hospital in August for this breathing issue, and he was in, I think, 10 days, and then after he left the hospital, he went to rehab for 10 days. So he was MIA from home from August something to the September 8th or something before he came home. So it was almost a month between hospital and rehab. So I don't know how long he'll be in rehab. They have to authorize it. You know, you have to be sick enough and have reason to go to rehab. So hopefully, since my daughter works at the hospital, she can get some answers and get him over to rehab. So I just want you to pray for him. I just wanted to come on and say, you know, I'm not going to do a great video for you. I wouldn't say this is a great video. I just came on to ask you for your prayers, and I don't really have an answer for Denny. I don't know what's wrong. If I get a diagnosis, maybe I'll come back and do a short for you real quick. But I don't know. It's a whole conglomerate, I guess is the right word, of things that are wrong with him. So it's hard to pinpoint it because the heart doctor says it's the lungs and the lung doctor says it's the heart. So we're kind of in a quandary there about which one it is. So I don't know. He's just really weak. I just talked to him a little bit ago, and he's getting like a little bit forgetful sometimes too. And I think it's just all the medication. They have him on antibiotics because his lungs did fill up with fluid. So he did have his lung drained the other day. They took 920 millimeters out of his lungs, which is just about a pop liter of fluid they took out of his lungs. And now they came in and said it was filling up again his right lung. This was his left lung. And he also has pneumonia again. So they're putting him on antibiotics for pneumonia. So I don't know how he gets pneumonia. We hardly go out, and we do where he's in the car. Usually I run into the store. He just drives me to the store. So I don't know how he keeps getting pneumonia. I think it's because his lungs are just so weak. So I don't know, girls. I'm heading over there now to see how he's doing. Like I say, I just talked to him on the phone, and he's very weak. And you know, he wants me to stay there all day. And it's not far from the house, but it's like 20 minutes from the house. And I have to use my walker when I go in that far. I can't walk that far either. And so I have to take that walker in and out. I know, it's not about me, I know, but it's just so hard for me to get that walker in and out of the car. And it's freezing here today, and I see snowflakes coming down, so that's a kind of a ugh to even have to go out in this. I'd like to curl up in front of my fireplace. I see my fireplace stayed on. It didn't go into commercials over there on my TV. I have a fireplace screensaver on. Ooh, I feel nice and warm. Anyway, so that's it. I wanted to get on and give you a quick update on how Denny's doing. I know you care so much for him, and I know you'll be praying for him. And anything comes up, I will certainly let you know, either on my community page or on here. I'll certainly let you know. And I just want him home, girls. I just want him home, and I want him to be the Denny that he used to be. But I don't think that's ever going to happen. I hope it does. I'm optimistic. I'm staying positive, but he's just got so many things wrong. And I think, you know, when Denny, he's used to being so active. You know, he's active. He's always going. He loves to clean and do things around the house, and he can't do them anymore. And I think for a guy, too, that's as active as him, that's really tough on you. That really takes a toll on you. And I think that's what's really got him bugged, too, because he can't do anything. He can't walk to the sink without getting short of breath. He can't walk across the floor without getting short of breath. And it's scary. It's really scary to watch. So anyway, that's it, girls. Thanks for coming over, and keep your prayers coming for my hubby. Like I say, I know you love him too. So thanks for coming by. So that's it for me. I guess I'll talk to you really soon. Thanks for coming over. I so appreciate you, and I will see you soon. I love you, girls. Bye-bye.